Apollo 11 quarantine. In the summer of 1969, when astronauts Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins made their historic lunar landing, they didn't just take one giant leap for mankind. They also unknowingly embarked on a journey that held an eerie secret, a tale of cosmic quarantine that wasn't quite what it seemed. Back on Earth, President Richard Nixon welcomed the returning astronauts in NASA's specially constructed moon quarantine chamber, meant to shield our planet from potential lunar pathogens. An iconic photo captured the moment. However, a recent study from Georgetown University more than half a century later hints at the possibility that Nixon might have been in harm's way. The lead author of the study, Dagmar de Groot, revealed in 2023 that the Apollo quarantine protocol had its share of containment breaches, which, had lunar microorganisms truly existed, might have exposed Earth to contamination. Luckily, though, celestial fortune was on our side, as the chance of microscopic life inhabiting the moon was slim to none, and NASA, of course, had calculated for this. Despite spending over $100 million on anti-contamination measures during the 1960s, the post-return protocol of the Apollo mission was flawed and was kept hidden from the public eye. The Lunar Receiving Laboratory, a high-tech quarantine facility, saw astronaut suits leak and its sterilizing equipment malfunction. And on top of all that, moon dust proved impossible to clean. In reality, the laboratory was unnecessary, as the astronauts were instructed to open their shuttle's hatch in the Pacific Ocean upon return, where any potential pathogens would dissipate. John Rummel, a former NASA planetary protection officer, explained, "If lunar organisms capable of reproducing in the Earth's ocean had been present, we would have been toast." But NASA's focus was elsewhere. They concentrated on addressing technical flaws that could jeopardize Apollo 11's success in space, prioritizing high-probability risks over remote existential threats. Fast forward to today as we prepare for Mars missions. Mars, unlike the Moon, offers a higher probability of hosting alien life. Recent research suggests the possibility of ancient microbes buried beneath its surface. The same underlying philosophy, prioritizing the likely over the unlikely, applies to a variety of challenges we face, from nuclear weapons to artificial intelligence and even climate change. The infamous Watergate scandal. In the depths of American politics, the Watergate scandal unfolded as a web of deceit and an abuse of power that shook the nation's core. In 1972, the United States found itself in the throes of division and conflict, with the Vietnam War casting a shadow over the nation. President Richard M. Nixon, seeking re-election, was determined to secure his position, and his campaign took on an aggressive edge. Within this tumultuous climate, illegal espionage reared its head, and members of Nixon's committee to re-elect the president, humorously dubbed CREEP, orchestrated a break-in at the Democratic National Committee's Watergate headquarters in May of 1972. The committee's mission was to pilfer top-secret documents and bug the office's phones. However, the wiretaps faltered, leading to a return visit by 5 burglars on June 17th. As they readied themselves to infiltrate the office with a new microphone, a vigilant security guard spotted tampering with door locks, which triggered a call to the police. And luckily, just in the nick of time, the authorities arrived to catch the culprits in the act. Initially, it remained unclear whether these burglars had ties to the president, but suspicions began to creep in when detectives uncovered copies of the re-election committee's White House phone number among their possessions. In August of that year, Nixon vehemently denied any White House involvement in the break-in during a speech. His assertions garnered widespread belief, and in November 1972, he achieved a resounding re-election victory. But the truth was far murkier. Shortly after the break-in, though, Nixon facilitated the funneling of substantial hush money to the burglars. Subsequently, he and his aides hatched a scheme to enlist the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, in obstructing the FBI's investigation, an act more grave than the break-in itself. This constituted an abuse of presidential power and a blatant obstruction of justice. Amidst these covert maneuvers, 7 conspirators faced indictment related to the Watergate affair. At the behest of Nixon's advisors, 5 chose to plead guilty to avoid a trial, while the other 2 faced conviction in January 1973. As this unfolded, a growing number of individuals, including Judge John J. Sirica, Washington Post journalist Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, and Senate investigators, began to sense the existence of a larger conspiracy. Some of the conspirators themselves began to crack under the pressure of the cover-up, with an anonymous informant known as Deep Throat feeding critical information to Woodward and Bernstein. Several of Nixon's aides, including White House counsel John Dean, testified before a grand jury about the president's crimes, revealing the existence of secret recordings capturing every Oval Office conversation. Securing these tapes would establish irrefutable proof of Nixon's complicity. Throughout the summer and fall of 1973, Nixon grappled to safeguard the tapes. His legal team argued that executive privilege shielded them from scrutiny, but the Senate committee, Judge Sirica, and Special Prosecutor Archibald Cox were unwavering in their determination to obtain this vital evidence. The mysterious death of JFK. In the world of mysteries and conspiracies, few events have captured the imagination like the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. For Dr. Tony Glover, who witnessed the tragedy as an 11-year-old in Dallas, the memory remains vivid. Glover recalls hoping for a personal connection with Kennedy, a bit of magical thinking for a troubled child. She watched him pass by, saw his head explode, and her innocent world was shattered. Now a professor with a belief in facts, she acknowledges that while some conspiracy theories are outlandish, there are legitimate investigators who have raised questions about the beloved president's assassination. The official account of JFK's assassination tells us that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, firing from the Texas School Book Depository. But there are lingering doubts. Some believe a second shooter may have been involved, possibly from the grassy knoll or another location. Jefferson Morley, a former Washington Post reporter, doubts the official story as well. He points to the Zapruder film, the infamous silent recording of the assassination, suggesting that the fatal shot may have come from the front, not the rear. Morley has other reasons for skepticism as well, like Oswald's monitored history by the CIA's counterintelligence staff. Thomas Whalen, an associate professor, believes Oswald did shoot JFK, but raises the possibility of a broader conspiracy. Oswald's visit to the Soviet and Cuban embassies before the assassination are just a few reasons why these questions remain. Bruce Miroglio, a lawyer and extensive reader on the topic, supports the Warren Commission's conclusions. He doesn't believe in a second gunman and is skeptical of conspiracy theories. It's important to remember that while doubts linger and questions persist, no definitive proof of a government cover-up in the assassination of JFK has emerged. Still, though, the event remains a subject of curiosity and debate, a tragic moment frozen in time. But if in the future it's revealed that the CIA did, in fact, have some involvement in the death of JFK, what'll happen then? What are your thoughts when it comes to the JFK assassination? Was his death really the result of a madman with a gun? Or was the government involved somehow? Let us know what you think down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel. COINTELPRO. In the shadows of American history, there exists a covert operation known as COINTELPRO, which stands for Counterintelligence Program. It was a secret initiative devised by the FBI to tackle political dissidents during a turbulent period in the nation's history. Emerging just 1 year after the formation of the Black Panther Party, COINTELPRO was a covert program with a chilling purpose: to neutralize political heretics. Spanning from 1956 to 1971, it was a tool employed by the FBI to investigate various radical national political groups suspected of having ties to foreign enemies. And what's truly striking is that the program targeted American citizens themselves. The COINTELPRO documents reveal that it honed in on 5 specific groups for investigation: white hate groups, the Communist Party, the Socialist Workers' Party, black nationalist hate groups, and the New Left. But among these, the Black Panther Party bore the brunt of the program's actions. One of the program's sinister objectives, as outlined in FBI documents, was to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize the activities of the black nationalists. They aimed to prevent the emergence of a black messiah, and figures like Martin Luther King Jr. found themselves under scrutiny until King's assassination in 1968. After that, the program's focus shifted to Huey P. Newton. The sheer scale of COINTELPRO's actions is striking, with 295 documented measures taken to disrupt black groups, of which a staggering 233 were specifically directed against the Black Panther Party. In his doctoral thesis, War Against the Panthers, a study of repression in America, Huey P. Newton accused J. Edgar Hoover and COINTELPRO of sowing discord between him and Eldridge Cleaver through false letters and documents. This, in turn, fostered conflicts between the Black Panther Party and other black groups, leading to tragic events like the murders of Al Prentice Bunchy Carter and John Huggins at the University of California. Additionally, there were allegations of COINTELPRO's involvement in the assassination of Fred Hampton, the charismatic leader of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party in 1969. COINTELPRO's existence, clouded in secrecy, reminds us of a dark chapter in American history when government agencies covertly surveyed and manipulated citizens and organizations they deemed a threat. It's a cautionary tale about the abuse of power and the importance of transparency and accountability in a democratic society. The truth behind Area 51. Area 51, the infamous and secretive military outpost nestled in the Nevada desert, has fascinated Americans for over half a century. But what's intriguing is that it was only officially acknowledged by the US government in 2013, adding fuel to the lore surrounding it. This remote desert patch, located some 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas, is known for its association with extraterrestrial ships and little green men, despite its initial purpose during the Cold War being far less otherworldly. Today, Area 51 serves as a US Air Force training site, officially named the Nevada Test and Training Range. The base features some of the world's longest runways, making it a hotspot for military exercises. The closest town, Rachel, Nevada, boasts a population of just 54 people, emphasizing the secrecy that surrounds the area. The airspace above the base is also strictly off-limits, and warning signs discourage any would-be trespassers. Another interesting fact about Area 51 is how workers get there. Not by car, but by government-owned passenger jets operating under the name Janet Airlines. This airline shuttles to and from a mysterious destination in the Nevada desert. That destination is none other than Area 51, referred to in the past as Watertown, Yuletide, Dreamland, and Paradise Ranch. However, the story of Area 51 takes us back to its humble beginnings. Before World War II, the area wasn't much more than desert and salt flats. But with the outbreak of the war, it gained significance as an airstrip called Indian Springs Auxiliary Field No. 1. Then, in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's need for aerial reconnaissance over the Soviet Union led to the selection of Groom Lake as the perfect location for a top-secret surveillance plane project. Thus, Area 51 was born, initially dubbed Paradise Ranch by Lockheed engineer Kelly Johnson in an effort to make it sound more appealing. It quickly became a hub for classified airborne espionage operations, ultimately evolving into a full-fledged spy plane factory. Over the years, the CIA and Air Force developed several groundbreaking surveillance and attack aircraft at Area 51, including the iconic U-2 spy plane, the stealth F-117 Nighthawk attack aircraft, and the SR-71 Blackbird. While these projects are declassified, the base's true activities unfortunately remain clouded in secrecy. Area 51 also found itself at the center of UFO speculation. Reports of unidentified flying objects, including sightings by airline pilots, fueled rumors of extraterrestrial activity at the base. Operation Blue Book, initiated in 1952 by the Air Force to investigate UFO reports, did little to quell these rumors and often left civilians with vague explanations. The Area 51 UFO saga gained momentum when Bob Lazar, in a controversial 1989 interview, claimed to have worked at a base called Sector 4 near Area 51. He alleged the existence of underground facilities and the reverse engineering of an antimatter reactor-powered alien spaceship. Lazar's credibility remains questionable, but his claims added to the intrigue surrounding the base. If Area 51 was housing alien technology, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to suspect that the government would keep that information a secret. After all, they've lied to the American people plenty of times before. Do you know of any government cover-ups that we failed to mention in today's video? Tell us what you'd like us to cover in the future down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye.